Go for it.
So you talk about an interesting thing. Right now, you're overseas, right? So, and we're talking about you built your team to help mitigate, you being overseas and still being able to buy a property. How has that how has that affected your search outside of the pandemic? I mean, I know that that has a lot to do with it, but um, how do you feel like that has helped or hurt you? And then also, can you speak to how you went about finding these people to add to your team?
So it has certainly helped me because um, I didn't realize how capable I was at finding at assembling the team that I needed until I started. And I mean, everything's a fingertip away, guys, as we all know. But it really wasn't that hard. I just made phone calls. The first thing I did was I bought Magic Jack. So Magic Jack gave me the capability to call US phone numbers through this thing. So what I do is I fire up Magic Jack on my iPhone, and it's all Wi-Fi. So I will burn through phone calls, either calling lawyers or accountants or whomever, just to see if they can do what I'm asking for them to do. And if they can't, then I'll just keep moving on. But it's so easy to do.
What are some of the questions? What are some of the questions that you're asking? Let's just say the attorney. Like, how are you vetting them? Essentially, is the question I'm really asking.
So because when it was my first time doing it, I basically I talked to them about what is their expertise, first and foremost. And if they have expertise in real estate, then how are they doing so? And they were more so educating me on what I didn't know. I really didn't know what questions to ask. I think, I read in books what I should ask, and then as soon as I got on the phone with them, I completely forgot about it. So it seemed like they were interviewing me. Are you ready for me? Kind of thing. Or so.
I love that, man. I love that. We literally just got done talking about networking not too long ago. And one of the biggest things with networking is you allow the individuals to talk about their strategy because you learn so much. In the beginning, the conversations, the point of you going out there and meeting these people isn't for you to vet them as if you're the expert. It's for you to identify what you don't know. Now let's fill in that gap, what I don't know and how to fix it. So that's beautiful. That's perfect. You just sat there and essentially called around, and I'm assuming you spoke to multiple attorneys, multiple realtors until you identified the ones that best suited you, right? Yeah. And that's that right there. That's how you build a business while in the military, while across the world, is essentially you set those parameters, you make the phone calls, and you build the team. And now you just let that team help you facilitate everything, the entire transaction, the entire operation. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So another quick note with that piece is not only is allowing them to talk, you get to fill in the gaps of what you don't know, but you also get to kind of see what they know really, and allowing them to talk kind of. There's some people, I know you said you did your research up front, right? You did your research up front and you figured out what questions you wanted to ask. So likely you probably had some ideal answers that you wanted to get, right? So obviously if they veer far to the left of some of the ideal answers and they're just, kind of off in la land, right? That's an easy way to vet them as well. So building a business while in the military, how are you systemizing things? How are you going to build this real estate business? I mean, you're about to buy more properties, and you're talking about growing a portfolio. How do you plan to systemize this? How are you going to make this an actual business versus what most people I see in the military do? Just buy a home for, the nicest home that they can find, and it just, not doing any due diligence or anything like that. Hey, it just looks nice to some that impress my friends. How are you making this a business versus doing what the norm is?
First and foremost, the relationship with my realtor is she has to know what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for value add properties.
What does that mean?
Anything that is undervalued in the area that it's currently in. So, if it's in, I don't know, B class, A class, B class, C class neighborhood. I really don't care as long as I can, through renovating and through placing the right tenants and increasing the rents over time, if possible, I can add value to that property. If they're blighted properties, that's even better. I'm currently looking at properties on the tax repository list, basically properties that are on a tax lien list that did not get sold because maybe they're just ugly houses, too much to for someone to take on.